Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to talk about something which is very relevant and very practical. Well, when I take all the sessions, when I go to companies or when I speak to students, when I speak to professionals and when I speak to students, one thing always comes up is they say, ma'am, we don't get time to focus on, learning English or time to focus on practicing English speaking. And they always ask me, how do we, try to build a routine or build a habit so that, we can just start practicing and we can start dedicating some time to it. So, how we can do that? Because, we all are so busy, we don't get time. Like 9 hours we are in office, or 6 hours, 7 hours we are in college, and then when we go back home, so we have a lot of other things at home also to do, and it just skips out of our head, how to practice English or when to practice or how to dedicate the time to English. So it just skips out of our mind, and again, our next day comes and then we start haven't practiced English yesterday, so today we should do it, and then it goes on and on. So this becomes a vicious circle and it never ends, and we don't get time to practice that. Okay, so this is a genuine question, this is a genuine thing which happens to everybody, right? We are so tied up in all other things that we forget to practice English, because we have other priorities at home. Like we have priorities to study, okay, and we have other priorities, like if we have some office work or something, we get indulged or involved in that, but we don't get time to do other activities, like if we want to be fluent in English or we want to learn English language. So we forget, or we don't get that time, or we don't dedicate that amount of time to this. So the things are pretty slow. Okay, so it doesn't turn out to make a big difference when we start practicing. Okay, because we don't dedicate much time. So this is always a question which comes to me, like how we can manage learning English with our other activities, and so that they both don't come in between each other. So it is just that it becomes a routine for us to do that also with other things. So how do we inculcate that habit? Well guys, I'm your communications coach and a soft skill trainer by profession, and I'm going to help you out with all your communications problems, and I'm here to help you out to speak English fluently and confidently. Well, I'm going to talk about 15 habits, small habits which will help you to achieve this, or which will help you to speak or learn English like anything else. Like it will get into your daily routine, and you will never have to think about, like I've done this, I've done that, but today I forgot to speak English, or today I forgot to practice English. So you will never say that. So this will just get involved in your daily routine and you will enjoy that. Okay, so that is why basically you have to develop small habits, which I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to talk about 15 small habits which you can develop, which will help you automatically to learn the language very easily without making any extra efforts, or without giving any extra efforts, or without thinking like, oh God, I didn't do my English practice today, or I didn't dedicate this time to English today. Okay, so you don't have to think that anymore. So let's get started. The first habit is set a routine. Now, this doesn't mean that 9 hours you're in office, so another 6 hours or 3 hours or 2 hours or 1 hour you have to dedicate, come home and stay focused on English. You have to dedicate that time. No. Set a routine just means that if you want to give 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 15 minutes or half an hour or 1 hour, it is absolutely depends on you and your time, whatever time you want to dedicate. If you want to dedicate 5 minutes or 1 hour or 2 hour, it's your choice. But you have to set a routine that every single day, like 6 to 6:15 or 6 to 6:30 or 6 to 8 o'clock, I am going to sit down and study English. or do any activity which is related to English. You don't have to study the language, right? You have to do some activities which will help you to learn the language. Okay, so you have to make a routine, set up a routine that every day, this to this time and at this place, whether it is your kitchen, whether it is your drawing room, whether it is your bedroom, whether it is your balcony, whether it is your park or play area, anywhere. You just have to set that time and the place. Like 15 minutes, 6 o'clock to 6:15, I am going to dedicate myself to any activity which is related to English language. Okay, so you do that. When you come back home, when you want to relax, you take your mobile, you pick up your mobile and you go on Facebook, or you go on LinkedIn, or you go on any other, Twitter or Reddit or any other sites, or you go to YouTube to, browse some videos and check out some vlogs and, and other articles. A lot of things we do, right? So it's just that think about it in a way that, you have to give 5 minutes, 15 minutes or half an hour, 1 hour or 2 hours to any activity which is related to English. Now I'm going to tell you how you can utilize that time in entertaining yourself, having fun, relaxing your mind, relaxing your body and learning English as well. Now that takes me to my next point, which is immerse yourself in English. Now, whatever time you have set, like whether it is 15 minutes, half an hour, 2 hours, 1 hour, or just 5 minutes, you have to immerse yourself in English. Now, what does that mean? What you can do here is, whenever you are back, whatever time you have decided, take up your mobile. You can watch an English movie, you can watch a TV series in English, you can watch a cooking show, you can watch any comedy show, you can watch any news broadcast, anything which is just in English. Okay, now if you want to watch a movie, it takes 2 hours or 1.5 hours or 2 hours movie. Okay, so it's your choice. You can dedicate one single day to watch movies. And I know many of us has a problem in watching English movies because the accent is different, right? And we don't, generally cope up with that accent. We're not able to understand what they're speaking or how they're speaking because of the accent. So I would suggest you can start watching cartoon movies, animated movies, Minnie Mouse, Daisy, Duck, Mickey Mouse, or you can watch any animated movies for that matter, like Ice Age is one of my favorite animated movies. So you can come up with these things. Okay, you can gradually increase the level of difficulty, and then you can start watching English movies also. And it's okay if you don't understand in one attempt. Every single day, if you dedicate the time and you start watching movies, or if you can say like every weekend you're going to watch an English movie, so every time you watch the movie, things will be better and better. Everything you're going to understand gradually. Okay, so you don't have to worry, you just have to give some time. That is why I'm saying that you have to set a routine, that this time you have to allot to English, any English related activity. I'm not saying to study English or to learn English or to practice English. It's just any activity which is related to English. Coming to the third, which is read out loud, which means you have to pick a newspaper or a book or any article for that matter. If you don't want to read like a book or a newspaper or a magazine, then you can take your mobile and you can start reading an article. You can search for any article in English and you can start reading out loud. I still feel very much connected to newspapers. I still read newspapers. I like editorials very much. You know why? Editorials have the most complex English and the most complex vocabulary, and it is very interesting, guys. It's a challenge to understand, the English written there, the sentence construction and the meaning of the whole article. So I find it very challenging and very interesting. So what I do is I read it 2 to 3 times to soak myself up and understand what it means and what vocabulary it is used and what is the meaning of that vocabulary, what is the meaning of this sentence. And I do that, and I really enjoy that because it's very challenging and it's very interesting. And you know why loudly? You have to read it out loudly just because you can understand the word pronunciation, the intonation, how it is spoken, and the question marks are there, the full stop is there, comma is there, so every single thing makes sense, right? If you're asking a question, the intonation will be different. If there's a comma, there's a question mark, or there is a full stop, exclamation mark, everything has a different expression. And the voice also, intonation is basically the rise and fall of your voice. Okay, which word you have to focus on, which you have to focus less on, okay, so that others understand. So if you're reading it out loud, you will be able to practice your speaking as well. Okay, how the words are spoken, how the words are pronounced, how the intonation is used. Okay, so these things. So that is why it is very important to read out loud. So as I said, when you have to dedicate your 10-15 minutes or 1 hour or 2 hours, you can always start doing all these. So these are the activities basically which I have broken down. You can pick up any activity or 2-3 activities you can combine, and you can start doing that in that specified time which you have kept for English, okay, or which you have dedicated for English. Coming to the fourth point is vocabulary. Now, how will you build your vocabulary? So basically, guys, these are the building blocks, or these are the steps which will help you to speak English or learn English. So vocabulary is also a very important part. So I would suggest here, to make it interesting, you can use flashcards. Now what flashcards are? Now what you can do is, you can take a chart paper or any colorful paper, or for that matter you can take any sticky notes, the colorful sticky notes which come nowadays. It's very interesting and it's very easy. I mean, I use a lot. It is on my fridge, it is on my cupboard, it is on my door, everywhere it is, on my desk, on my table, on my laptop, on my desktop, everywhere it is. So what you can do is, whenever you pick a new word, you can just write it down with the meaning, and you can stick it on your work area or wherever you like. As I said, it is on my cupboard, it is on my door, it is in my kitchen fridge, everywhere it is. Okay, so you can spread it around wherever you feel convenient. Okay, so make flashcards or sticky notes with vocabulary, so that it is there in front of you, and every time you go there, or when you visit that place, you can recall that word and you can start making sentences out of it. So this is a very interesting activity. You have a word, you have its meaning, and it's just that you have to tax your brain or use your brain to just come up with 1 or 2 sentences every day with those words. Okay, so whenever you're reading out loud, whether you're reading an article or a newspaper or a magazine, or you're watching a movie, anything, whenever you come with a new word, you just jot it down, write the meaning, and stick it at your work area or wherever you want to, which is you can see, wherever you can see, you stick it down there, and whenever you dedicate that time, at that time you just go there and just recall 1 or 2 sentences out of it with those words. It's very easy, it's very quick, and it's very interesting, guys. So whatever activity you do, make it interesting. So that is why I said flashcards. Prepare those flashcards or those sticky notes which will help you. It will be a ready-made thing for you, right? You don't have to do anything. You have to open a diary, or you have to open your workbook and just get down those words, and then you will start making sentences. No, it's just on the spot you can do. Fifth one is very interesting. Play games or puzzles. Word games or puzzles. Now guys, I still remember in my early childhood, or when I was a kid, not early childhood, little later, when I realized that yes, I have to learn English, and it's interesting, which I should learn English. So I started playing this game called Scrabble. I hope you all are aware of that. It's a very interesting game. It's a word game. Okay, so you have to make words 2 people, 4 people, anybody can play with. So you can play Scrabble with them. We used to play one game which I remember that, we used to write any word. I mean, we don't use write, we just give blank spaces for that word, and then we describe about that word, what is that word, and then the other person has to guess that word. So that is also another game which you can play. There is a lot of puzzles also come, in the market. You can just go and buy that puzzle book, word puzzle book and all. So that also helps you a lot. Newspaper also has those puzzles as well, but it is a little tricky and little advanced level. But then you can get a lot of books and workbooks also with the English word puzzles. So you can just buy them, and or online you can go and just check out something. It will be free of cost. So you can just play those word games and puzzles there also to improve your vocabulary. So this is another way you will learn new words and you can start practicing them. Okay, and you can see how much you have learned and how much more effort you have to put in. Okay, so that will also be a test for you. Okay, so start doing. This is very interesting, guys. I know, listening to it might sound like, you have to play a puzzle or a game. I don't know any word. How will I play that? No, it's very simple. It's very interesting. You will just go and start using that. You will learn a lot of things. You learn a lot of words there. If you don't know also. That is my promise. Coming to the sixth point is record yourself. Now this is very important, guys. Whenever you're reading a book or a novel or a magazine or a newspaper, or you are reading an article, I would suggest when you watch a movie, or you watch any sports, or you watch any comedy show or any series or anything, a story for that matter, anything you watch or you read, you start summarizing it in your own words and start recording it. When you'll start recording it, you will get to know how you are speaking, how much improvement you need, what kind of pronunciation you're using, what type of, how your intonation is. Okay, and if that makes sense to you, okay, if you're able to communicate, if you're able to translate that idea, so you will get a record of everything. And every single day when you practice this, you will get to know how much improvement there is. So that is why to have a record. Okay, you can also do a small mini vlog for yourself. You can do anytime during breakfast, lunch, dinner. You can always record yourself. You can share your daily routine, what you have done when you went to a place and you came back, and you just record it, like saying, oh wow, I went to this mall and I had this good shopping experience. I bought this, I bought that. So anything for that matter, I went to a restaurant and I had a Chinese meal or a continental meal and it was awesome. So a small 5 minutes mini vlogs you can make for yourself, which will help you to record yourself and which will help you to become more and more confident. And once your confidence increases, your fluency will also increase and your English will also improve. Okay, so that is why it is very important to record yourself. Okay, seventh is pay attention to intonation. Now, as I said, intonation is very important. It makes or breaks your idea. Okay, so basically intonation is rise and fall of your voice and which word to focus and which word, we have to not pay much attention to. Okay, so basically when you're talking to somebody, you focus on something which the other person picks up. Okay, if I say I want to go shopping, so shopping is something which I emphasized on. I want to go shopping. Shopping is something I emphasized on, but I want to is something which is not much preferred. I is something which comes up, but want to is little lesser, and shopping is there. So you have to get your idea across. If somebody is listening to you, if they hears shopping, they immediately understand, okay, you want to go shopping. Okay, so that is what intonation is. So you have to, whenever you are listening to anything or whenever you are reading, you have to pay attention to how you are speaking it. So you have to listen very carefully first so that you get an idea of how it is spoken, how the sentences are spoken, and then you replicate it. Another eighth one is body language. Now, body language is very important, guys. It's always better to use your hands and your eyes and expressions to express yourself. Okay, if you're flat, like for example, I'm saying, I went to the park and I enjoyed. See, now if I have to say this, how I'll say. I went to the park and I really enjoyed it. See, I have a smile, my eyes are shining, and I'm tilting my face. So, a lot of things are there, right? It's not a blank face. I went to the park, I enjoyed. My expression doesn't say that, right? It doesn't support that. But when you say, oh, I went to the park and I really enjoyed there. Now, this, helps the other person also to understand, oh, she's very happy. She really had a good time at the park. So that is the difference. You have to pay attention to your body language as well when you are expressing something. Okay, your hand movement, your face movement, and your eyes movement, and your lip movement, everything does translate something, gives some idea to the listener as well. Ninth one is slow down and speak clearly. Okay, so whenever you are practicing, whenever you are listening, whenever you are speaking, whenever you're doing anything, you have to just slow down and speak clearly. So whatever you are saying, you have to be very clear. Clarity is very important, guys. If you eat your words, or if you mispronounce it, or if you use half sentences, it's not gonna work, right? Nobody is going to understand what you're trying to say. So if you want to say something, pick one sentence, try to say it clearly, or pick two sentences and try to give the idea clearly in two sentences only. Don't make club through three sentences in one sentence. Okay, speak clearly one by one everything. So it's easy, and slow down. Don't be in a haste or in a hurry. Never do this while speaking. Okay, practice speaking daily. Now, I have already spoken about a lot of habits or a lot of activities which will help you to learn English or practice English. Okay, pick up those things and make it a daily routine that you have to practice that. Okay, whatever time you are dedicating, you try to dedicate some time to practicing also. You can pick up any activity. These are the activities I have already spoken, which covers everything, right? So you can just start doing that. And speaking practice also, you can start up, as I said, you can do vlogs, or you can just summarize everything and you can record that, whatever you're watching, whatever you're listening to. Okay, or you can just record your daily activities, or whatever you have done, whatever you've eaten, you can record everything. Or apart from that, you can also do jam sessions, or any topic you can choose and just start talking on that for 1 minute or 2 minutes, or anything for that matter. You can do whichever you feel good about, which you enjoy. So take those things and start speaking about it. You can take any personality and talk about them as well. Any movie you have seen, you can just start giving reviews on that. So any shopping experience you want to express or give review. So you can do a lot of things which is fun and which is entertaining. You don't have to think about it as a part of a process of learning or studying. It's not studying, it's a fun activity. You have to take it as a fun or something which you want to do. You just make it a part of your routine. Whatever you have done, just try to translate it in English. That's it. Okay, in this, don't overthink. Yes, we all feel at some point of time like, how will we speak in front of people? Yeah, what they will think, they will laugh at me, they will talk about me like he doesn't know English, or there are a lot of things which comes to our minds before speaking in front of people, right? People will laugh, or people make fun of us, and people will make think like he doesn't even know English. So these are the thoughts which come to our mind. We have to stop thinking that. We have to think that that person also would have been at this stage sometime, at some point of time. That is what your thought process should be. And it is true, that person would have also struggled sometimes back when he or she must be learning English. Okay, so everybody has this phase of life. So you don't have to worry. Let them laugh, let them make fun of you. One day you will start speaking in English, and then they won't be able to make fun of you, right? they'll forget that. So anyways, just don't give a damn to anybody. That's be patient and persistent. Now patience is the key to success, I would say. So you have to be very patient when you're learning or trying to learn English or speak English. Learning is very easy, but you have to actually translate it or perform, right? You have to speak. So speaking needs courage, okay, because you have to face people, you have to have that confidence, you have to have build up that fluency, slowly. So it takes a lot of patience and courage and persistence. So follow a routine for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever you want to. Break it down every single day. You have to do that. Take any activity which you have to do, start practicing that, and surely you are going to succeed. And don't give up. Yes, you don't have to give up. Start using these things. It's very interesting, it's very entertaining, and it is linked to your life. This is nothing out of the box you have to go and do. You don't have to study anything. You have to just, whatever you have done for the day or whatever is there, it's just that you're utilizing that time to practice English. Okay, you are just trying to translate everything in English. That's it. You have to make this mindset that, you're not studying English. You're not dedicating a time to English. It's just that you're in a free time, you're just trying to entertain yourself by watching a movie, by watching any show and just summarizing it, and then, start speaking about it. That's it. Okay. See you. Bye-bye.